Welcome back, adventurers, to another Gloomhaven video. My name is Axel, and today we're going to be talking about the Scoundrel. For those new to the game, we're going to do a small class overview for a better understanding of the character and how to play with her, followed by which ones are, in my opinion, the cards that you should look out for when leveling up. And at the end, I am going to show you how to put together those cards to make the most practical and reliable builds that you can play with this class. And of course, the recommended items that you should try to add to your arsenal while playing as a Scoundrel. Let's get to it. When playing as a Scoundrel, you will realize that she's not the squishiest of all the playable characters in the game, but as your typical rogue, she doesn't bathe in health like the brute of the Kragheart. Therefore, you gotta be really careful about the unnecessary risks you take moving into the wrong tile at the wrong time. Make sure if you're going in for the kill. She has one of the lowest hand sizes in the game, and unlike the Spellweaver, she doesn't have any card mechanic that allows her to recover lost card. Therefore, you can't afford to play losses recklessly, because if you do, you will exhaust yourself halfway into the scenario. When we talk about the resources available to the Scoundrel to ensure her survival in this scenario, we can only name a few. Starting from level 1, the Scoundrel gets a special mixture, which is a decent heal at the beginning of the game. Aside from that, Smoke Bomb will provide you with an average invisibility option until you level up and get Stick to the Shadows at level 7. It is also worth mentioning that she has not even one card with Retribution until you get to level 8, and at that point, believe me, you won't need it. If we're already talking about damage, we gotta say that without a doubt, the Scoundrel has the highest single target damage currently in game, having at level 1, 2 attacks 5 in her arsenal. But be mindful that these attacks are conditional, as they require you to have an adjacent ally to the enemy that you are attacking to trigger the attack 5. These cards are none other than single out and flanking attack. And as you level up through the game, you will be able to get more cards that will allow the Scoundrel to play more mid-range instead of being in the front lines at all times, but more on that later. When it comes to debuffing your enemies, poison and wound are the Scoundrel's areas of expertise, and they come in a variety of forms as you progress through the game. It could be just by walking towards your enemies, or maybe through a melee attack or a range attack. Or it could be both, and you could be inflicting poison and wound during the whole game once you level up enough and get the OP card Watch It Burn. In the current state of the game, as a Scoundrel, you got absolutely no crowd control whatsoever. You got no disarms, no immobilize, and no stunts. Therefore, your main focus will be either dealing high amounts of damage to a single target or dealing average amounts of damage to multiple enemies while inflicting status effects on them at the same time. To be able to go in for the kill and move out to safety, you need two things. Be able to cover long distances and do it quickly, and the Scoundrel outshines all the other classes in this category, since she has the fastest initiative currently in game with cards like Florio Blades, and the most reliable and uninterrupted movement with cards like Backstab. And I say uninterrupted only because one of her weaknesses is not having a jump action that allows her to jump over enemies and obstacles more effectively, making the Scoundrel dependable to items like Blinking Cape or Winged Shoes. And finally, from looting while moving with Swift Bow to looting 1 or 2 tiles away from her position, pair that with her amazing movement and quite easily your Scoundrel becomes the best looter currently in game. And believe me, you're gonna need those coins later on if you wanna make any progress in your adventure at all. Now, the time has finally come to talk about cards. And I'm gonna tell you which ones are, in my opinion, the cards that you should pick when you level up. Let's start at level 2. Once you get to level 2, you need to start looking out for Open Wound. This is such an amazing card, guys. It has an amazing top action with attack 4, adding wound plus 1 XP if you have an ally adjacent to your enemy. But even if you don't get that bonus effect, the top action is still your best non-conditional attack at level 2. It has good initiative as usual with the Scoundrel and a very good movement 5 on the bottom action, overall providing a lot of flexibility to the Scoundrel's arsenal. Well, with that being said, and since you cannot have all the cards at the same time, I recommend that you add Open Wound and remove Venom Chef. At level 3, pick Duelist Advance. This card, like the one before, brings flexibility to the table, and more importantly, it helps you prepare your first meaningful combos as the Scoundrel. The top half will give you extra movement that you could use to move from room to room more quickly, or to combo with cards like Thief's Knack and deal decent amount of damage to a single enemy in one turn. It has fine initiative coming up at 16, maintaining the Scoundrel as nimble as ever. And the bottom half will provide you with a very powerful non-move action that can be paired up with cards like Throwing Knives to add some extra attack on the enemies that are non-adjacent to their allies. At this level, I would recommend you to add Duelist Advance and remove Quick Hands. Once you get to level 4, pick Florio Blades. This card, in my opinion, is a really good card. And believe me when I tell you that you're gonna wish that you could play both half of it on the same turn. The top half is a straight up upgrade to Throwing Knives that it can be combined with the bottom half of Duelist Advance for some good damage. It comes with Initiative 3, becoming your fastest card so far. The bottom action has a move 4, plus it will give you advantage in all your attacks for the remaining of the turn, which is the same effect as the goggles, that we all know it's really good. Besides that, this card bottom action can be paired with pretty much all your top attacks, whenever you don't need to move, of course. Or you can also pair the bottom action of this card with the top action of Duelist Advance, that will give you movement instead. My advice is that at level 4, you add Florio Blades and remove Single Out. When you get to level 5, pick Visage of the Inevitable. At this level, you finally get your instant kill card, that given the proper conditions, it becomes quite powerful, and it's a non-loss, which means that you can use it at least one more time during this scenario. With that being said, please note that this card performs way better in a smaller team than it does with 4 players, as the map becomes more crowded with the more characters you have, making it difficult to meet the conditions for the kill. And the only reason that we're picking up this card at level 5 is because Call of the Week is not implemented in game yet. Initiative is quite slow, but that's exactly what you want with this card, so your allies can clear the way of any other enemies and reposition themselves to allow you to go in for the kill. The bottom action is quite similar to Inspection Mixture, but this time it comes with 1 less movement, but hitting all adjacent enemies with your poison instead of just 1. At level 5, add Visage of the Inevitable and remove Special Mixture. At level 6, try to get Burning Oil. Adding another range attack that wounds your enemies is exactly what you want right now. This card will allow you to deal damage and debuff your enemies effectively from a distance, avoiding any unnecessary damage on yourself. Initiative is probably the highest that you ever have with the Scoundrel, coming up at 95. The bottom action is a non-move, non-loss loot 2 that you can use during those turns where you are attacking from a distance and you have no need to move. And the loot 2 action can help you secure the loot surrounding you. At level 6, add Burning Oil and remove Backstab. At level 7, Stick to the Shadows is your top choice so far. The conditional top attack of this card is simply insane, as long of course as you have an adjacent ally and a reliable source of darkness, and by reliable I mean other than Smoke Bomb, of course. Initiative is no crazy wild, but still most of the time it's faster than everybody else in your party. Bottom action will provide you with a small mobility and another invisibility option for those sticky situations where you need to avoid upcoming damage the following turn. At level 7, add Stick to the Shadows and remove Thief's Knack. At level 8, you're gonna aim for Stiletto Storm. This card is going to be the final card on your dagger throwing build, and I know that it seems kind of a bad card for a level 8, But bear with me for a second, because when you get to level 9, this card becomes quite powerful, and you know it once we get there. The initiative on this card is 80, which is no bueno either, but then again, that is not why we're picking up this card right now. Bottom action has a move 4 with 1 retaliation, which is quite meaningless at this point, since your enemies are going to be quite big, and retaliate 1 doesn't really make any difference. At level 8, add Stiletto Storm and remove Open Wound. Finally, at level 9, go for Watch It Burn. This card alone is the core of the whole build, and the reason why we have so many range multiple target attacks. With it, we can spread poison and wound to all the enemies turn after turn, which in all reality translate into more damage output for the whole team. At level 9, get Watch It Burn and remove Visage of the Inevitable. Well, at this point, we already got everything we need for a solid build, and here it is. And let me tell you guys, this is my favorite build for the Scoundrel, and with it, I just beat it Adventure Mode. Like I mentioned before, this build resolves around the card Watch It Burn. After that effect is in play, just spray all your enemies using Throwing Knives, Florio Blades, and Stiletto Storm, and you'll see how fast things escalate from there on, giving +1 attack permanently to the whole party including yourself, and enemies losing health constantly every turn, translating only into one thing: more damage. And of course, you'll have other cards to complement this build with movement, some situational melee attacks, and a great deal of loot. When it comes to the items, goggles is a must. If you feel like changing it for whatever reason, go with telescopic lens. That will provide you with some extra range for your knife throws. For the weapons, if you're going to play Stick to the Shadows, make sure you do it with at least a 1 of Darkness. If not, Hooked Chain or Weighted Net will do the job just fine, giving you some crowd control options that the Scoundrel so much need. As far as consumables go, it's pretty standard for me. Go with healing and power potions, get their upgrades as soon as you can, and get some stunt power for most CC. Alright guys, that concludes my Watch It Burn build for the Scoundrel, and the second build that I bring you today is a more balanced build in general, where you're going to have more melee options and the Smoke Bomb Stick to the Shadows combo, which if you're lucky enough, you will manage to do up to 32 damage to a boss with it, like I did myself a couple times. And for the weapons, since you're going to be more melee this time, I suggest a Poison Dagger and a Jagged Sword, or you can go with the Warhammer or the Ancient Drill. That will help you to deal better against shielded enemies. Well, that's gonna be it for this video guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you like it, leave a like down below, and don't forget to subscribe, as I'm gonna keep uploading more Gloomhaven videos pretty soon. Also, let me know in the comments down below which ones are, in your opinion, the best Scoundrel cards and the items that you need to get when playing as her. Also, right now I'm trying to get my first 50 subscribers. If you guys could help me reach this milestone, it would mean a great deal to me. Thank you one more time. My name is Axel, and I'll see you guys on the dungeons.